millions of readers have looked to a single book as a definitive guide to wealth. It changed the way an entire generation looks at their bank accounts. But applying its specific methods in modern India often works against the reader's financial goals. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad center on a simple distinction. An asset puts money in your pocket, while a liability takes it out. For many young professionals in India, this was an introduction to a new vocabulary of wealth. It has remained a staple on bestseller lists for over 25 years because it offered a clear alternative to traditional saving. However, we are currently seeing a conflict between a timeless mindset and outdated math. Following the book's specific tactics today ignores how much the economy has changed since 1997. Success in the 2020s Indian economy requires separating the psychological principles from the geographic traps. When this book was written, the United States was entering a period of significant growth. The tech boom created a surge of new capital. In this environment, young innovators were beginning to build empires that would eventually dominate the global market. The math of that era was unique. Interest rates on loans were as low as 2%, while property could generate rental yields that exceeded the cost of the debt. This matrix shows why that strategy fails in modern India. Here, home loans typically start at 8%, while rental yields hover around 1.5%. Today, the relationship between interest and yield is reversed. The playbook designed for the American 90s does not align with the numbers we face today. The book's core tactic is to use debt to buy property, using rent to turn a residential liability into an asset. In India, the math for a one-crore house looks different. With a 20% down payment, an 80 lakh loan at 8% interest creates a monthly EMI of roughly 66,000 rupees. Because the average rental yield in Indian cities is below 2%, that same house might only bring in 14,000 rupees in rent. This leaves a monthly gap of over 50,000 rupees. Instead of the property providing income, the owner is forced to use their salary to subsidize the loan every month. The reality of owning property in dense Indian urban centers like Mumbai is a far cry from the low-cost, high-yield suburban model described in the book. Because leverage works against the buyer in this market, real estate is often a purchase made after someone is already wealthy, rather than the primary tool used to get there. The book also encourages readers to escape the rat race by quitting corporate jobs to start a business as early as possible. However, in an economy without a broad social safety net, leaving a stable job without an emergency fund can lead to immediate financial distress. Similarly, dismissing formal education is a risk. For the Indian middle class, skipping higher education often limits access to the very opportunities the book claims to champion. High-tier Indian institutions provide access to networks and institutional credibility that shift an individual's potential earning trajectory. There is also a persistent myth about taking on business debt specifically to lower taxable income. This quadrant chart plots effort against impact. Under new tax regimes, 90% of the Indian workforce pays zero income tax up to 12 lakh rupees. Spending energy on tax-deductible debt is often a low-impact distraction. For most professionals in their 20s, the highest return on effort comes from maximizing primary earning power rather than searching for tax loopholes. We can keep the mindset of respecting money and acquiring assets, but we have to replace 1997 tactics with a modern playbook. The first pillar is downside protection. Before investing, you need health insurance, plus life insurance, and an emergency fund. These prevent a single life event from wiping out your progress. The second pillar focuses on income growth. Moving from a 3 lakh salary to 6 lakh provides more wealth-building potential than skipping a daily coffee or cutting small expenses. The third pillar is automation. Automated SIPs ensure your money grows every month without conscious effort. Finally, include a budget for guilt-free spending. Money is a tool to be used now, not just a balance to look at in 40 years. Managing your money effectively isn't about following the exact steps of an old book. Rather, it is about applying the right principles to the modern economic reality you actually live and work in. Hit subscribe and click the bell icon for our next breakdown.